Unbelievable. Dylan is Luna in disguise. The bold and the beautiful spoilers that change everything. Los Angeles had seen its fair share of secrets, lies, long-lost relatives, and shocking returns from the dead. But nothing prepared the city for the revelation that would rock Forrester Creations to its core. For weeks, Dylan had been standing right in front of everyone. Charming, observant, slightly mysterious. The kind of person who slipped into a room without making noise and left people feeling like something had shifted, but they couldn't quite explain what. And now the truth was coming out. Dylan was Luna. Not metaphorically. Not symbolically. Not in some they share a connection way. Dylan was Luna, in disguise. And once the mask came off, nothing would ever be the same again. At first, no one questioned Dylan's arrival in Los Angeles. New faces showed up all the time, design assistants, interns, consultants, distant relatives looking for a foothold in the fashion dynasty. Dylan had explained it simply: a freelance consultant with international experience, recommended by someone who knew someone. That alone should have raised alarms. At Forrester Creations, everyone knew someone. Vague references didn't cut it. But Dylan had an ease about him. A confidence that felt earned, not forced. He listened more than he spoke. He watched people, especially Luna, with a gaze that lingered just a beat too long. Luna, for her part, felt unsettled. She couldn't explain it. Every time Dylan entered the room, it felt like a mirror had been placed in front of her. Not physically, but emotionally. As if someone was looking through her instead of at her. She brushed it off. Los Angeles was full of intense personalities. Still, she started noticing things. It began with the sketches. Luna had been working late one night, refining a design she hadn't shared with anyone, not even RJ. She left her desk for coffee, and when she returned, the sketch had changed. Not drastically. Just enough. The hemline was sharper. The structure cleaner. The exact correction she'd been struggling to articulate in her own mind. She froze. No one should have touched it. When she asked around the next day, Dylan merely smiled. Sometimes, Dylan said casually, designs want to evolve on their own. The words sent a chill straight down Luna's spine. Because those were her words. Something she'd said years ago, to herself, during a moment no one else had witnessed. Others began noticing similarities too. Steffi commented offhandedly that Dylan and Luna had weirdly similar instincts. Brooke joked that it was like watching the same person from two different angles. RJ, however, wasn't laughing. He noticed how Dylan finished Luna's sentences. How Dylan anticipated her reactions. How Dylan knew things about her past she had never shared. And then there was the way Dylan looked at reflective surfaces. Mirrors. Glass walls. Polished metal. Almost like someone checking that the illusion still held. The turning point came during a fashion preview. Luna had fallen ill suddenly. Stress, exhaustion, nerves. She was supposed to present her collection to Steffi and Ridge. At the last minute, Dylan stepped in. I can explain the vision, Dylan said calmly. I understand it. Understand it? Dylan didn't just explain it. Dylan became it. The language. The passion. The personal anecdotes that only Luna could possibly know. Ridge's expression shifted from impressed to confused. Steffi narrowed her eyes. And RJ? RJ felt sick. Because standing there, under the lights, was someone wearing Dylan's face, but speaking with Luna's soul. RJ didn't confront Dylan. Not yet. Instead, he started digging. Background checks. Employment records. Travel history. Everything Dylan claimed about his past checked out. Too perfectly. No childhood photos. No long-term friendships. No social media history before 5 years ago. It was like Dylan had been created. Meanwhile, Luna began spiraling. She started losing time. Moments she couldn't account for. Conversations people swore she'd had, but she had no memory of. And then came the message. A handwritten note left in her apartment. You don't have to do this alone anymore. No signature. Just one word written faintly in the corner. L. Luna finally confronted Dylan late one night at Forrester Creations. The building was quiet. Too quiet. She demanded answers. Dylan didn't deny anything. Instead, Dylan locked the door and smiled. "You figured it out faster than I expected," Dylan said softly. Luna's heart pounded. "Figured out what?" Dylan stepped closer. "I'm not here to replace you," Dylan said. "I'm here to protect you." Then came the words that shattered Luna's reality. "I'm you. Or at least, the part of you that learned how to survive." Years ago, before Forrester, before Los Angeles, Luna had been forced into an impossible situation. One that required her to disappear for a while. To split her life. To create another identity. Dylan wasn't just a disguise. Dylan was a constructed persona, a fully realized version of Luna designed to move freely, gather information, and handle threats she couldn't face as herself. Over time, Dylan had taken on a life of his own. Separate contacts. Separate experiences. Separate emotions. And now, the lines were blurring. Dylan didn't want to disappear again. When Steffi uncovered inconsistencies and demanded answers, Dylan acted first. Contracts were rerouted. Designs were filed under Dylan's name. Legal protections were quietly activated. Forrester Creations was being outmaneuvered from inside. Ridge was furious. Brooke was heartbroken. RJ felt betrayed, but also terrified. Because if Dylan was Luna, then who was Luna becoming? The ultimate reveal happened during a live fashion showcase. Media everywhere. Cameras rolling. Just as Luna stepped onto the runway to introduce her newest line, Dylan appeared beside her. And then, right in front of everyone, Dylan removed the final piece of the disguise. Not physically, emotionally, by speaking the truth, by confessing everything, by saying Luna's real name, her real history, and the reason she had split herself in two. Gasps echoed. Steffi stood frozen. RJ ran to Luna's side. And Luna? She finally understood.